Not enough capital? No renovation experience? No time to find that perfect deal? Reasons why everyone isn't making money in Arizona's booming real estate market. Finally, a chance for a passive investor to capitalize on Arizona real estate. Jameson, Wall Street experience to oversee, format, and structure the finances. Rocky, designs and lays out renovations that completely transform. John, buying and selling real estate in the Valley for 25 years. He identifies the properties that are home runs. Neighborhood Ventures, welcome to the team.
Rocky's a little bit of a crazy driver, I'm just gonna have to say.
Interesting that you would say that. I would say I'm more of a seasoned driver. I'm not afraid to
I'm just saying
switch lanes.
The risk versus reward spectrum.
Wow, cash on cash return. It's a free ride. So at this point, you're winning. Yeah, it's a good return. You're gonna get there.
So the team and I are heading out to look at a new potential investment property. This property is in Old Town Scottsdale, near restaurants, art galleries, and a bunch of other activities that have always been a tourist destination for people coming to Arizona.
Yeah, I love this area.
You know, reasonably short walk, not right around the corner, but that's good because during the Culinary Festival, for example, that's going on this weekend, or art walks on Thursdays around here, this area gets crazy busy. Sometimes you want to be just close enough to get to it, but far enough away where you're not trapped in it.
No, that's true, and I think it would accommodate all kinds of travelers.
Because of the property's close proximity to all the things that Old Town Scottsdale offers, we feel like this might be a great opportunity to turn it into a vacation rental or Airbnb property rather than a traditional apartment.
So this area is called Holiday Park. Most of these properties are properties that people would come stay at before they had hotels in the area. A lot of these places have their own character, their own names, and you stay at the same place every year for like 6 weeks.
Why did that go out of fashion?
The hotels?
It's back now. No, the short-term vacation rentals.
Yeah, no, it's coming back.
There aren't that many Airbnbs in Scottsdale because there's so many HOAs who regulate it.
Because the cities don't. I know that Arizona and the cities don't not allow it.
There's a law that actually prevents the city, state, and county from preventing it.
Which is unique to Arizona.
Yeah.
So it's just the HOAs that are the problem,
Yeah.
which this one doesn't have an HOA.
Right.
The property is made up of 8 units. Each unit is 850 square feet and consists of 2 bedrooms and 1 bath each. The strike price for this property is $130,000 per unit. That's $1,040,000 for the entire purchase price.
Yeah, of course the first thought is to lose this wall, but then it's problematic because with the door here, it leaves no room to, unless we did like a galley kitchen.
Lighting, the whole idea is not so much the bright halogens like this, but under the eave stuff that we can add some lighting without making the place feel like a prison courtyard.
The nice thing about these kitchens is that if it were a traditional apartment style, those kitchens would be really compressed. But with an Airbnb, you're not looking for like tons of storage. You can shrink the appliances with no loss of function.
So we've been able to go through the property here today with our whole team, and now we're going to go over to the cafe, have a little lunch, and kind of debrief and see what our thoughts are, and see if we want to move forward with it.
Yeah, you can. In fact, I'm gonna give that to you.
There's no practical purposes for that.
I love mine. I call it the mom tactical pack. Yeah. So I have to say, I loved it. Normally, a small kitchen like that, that's sort of strangely laid out, would be kind of a deal breaker because there's just not enough room to put all of the things. In a short-term vacation rental situation, it's actually ideal. You don't want to have a whole bunch of cabinets sort of filling up the space, we can just put what we need. We can kind of size down the appliances. I thought the courtyard in the middle presents an ideal opportunity to put common area space.
Yeah, I like the building. I like the bones of it. You know, true to form, everything we do, we're gonna have to do everything to it anyway.
Naturally.
So
Yeah.
my positive is it's totally workable. It makes sense. I like the building, and it works for us. The other side of it is we're going to do everything anyway. So, you know, let's make sure we go out and find the best deal on a property. Is it really the best opportunity for us? And if it is, okay. But there's nothing there that we can't fix, and it's a different model for us. I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out.
Well, I don't think there's a better area than this area we're in right now, Old Town Scottsdale. I've always loved coming to Arizona, coming here, and I think it's as good as a place in the valley to do our first, B&B type project, and the idea of doing it as an Airbnb, I think, gives us some, investors a different type of asset to invest in, regular than just a regular apartment building. So I think they'll be pretty excited about that.
I completely agree. There's something totally different from, at least from a design approach, when I know that from start to finish, we have complete style control. So whatever look we choose to go with, whether it's super modern, whether it's like European hotel-ish, we control from the finishes to the furnishings to the linens to the towels, like the entire experience. Yeah. I feel like I love that. I feel like an investor would be totally down for that because it's just a little bit more personal.
And it works. I mean, that's the whole bottom line too. That this wasn't a concept that was repeatable years ago, but as we talked about several times today, that property and that concept is something that's becoming more and more prevalent. And if you're in this downtown Scottsdale area, people will choose that over sometimes a traditional hotel room.
And Arizona is unique because of the state law that was passed, and that basically overrode all the municipalities, so that municipalities can't restrict Airbnbs in Arizona. And there aren't many people that are doing what we're doing, where you can invest in 8 units that are all in one location, and have it as passive income and invest in an Airbnb.
This is a really good parlay for us for what we're learning about our other projects into another business area that we already understand because of our own personal dipping into Airbnb business. Right. So it makes sense.
And there's your knowledge in the apartment business is really important because we can always convert this back to an apartment. We're not
it's not even a conversion. It's all right. Now we'll start renting it. The next person moves in is going to lease it for 6 months,
right?
Or 6 weeks at a time, or 10 weeks, or whatever it's going to be.
Right.
More of a corporate rental.
Yeah, I mean, there's that aspect too. Maybe it's not a short term, maybe it's a little bit long term, but maybe not as long term as an apartment. As long as the location is right and the product is a really high standard with a unique, chic design aspect, I mean, there's always going to be someone that's attracted to that.
Right.
So I love it.
So I really like the discussions we're having, and I think the group of us would come from different directions to figure out how to make a property work. Now that we've had a chance to walk the property, we brought in some of our subs and some of our other professionals. It's time to take all that information, sit down, run the numbers, and figure out how this property is going to make sense. And that's really where we figure out if it is going to make sense. So that's our next step.
Hello everyone, I'm Sake. Welcome to another Neighborhood Ventures renovation update. If you'll remember, about a year ago, we had an offering in downtown Tempe, blocks away from Mill Avenue. I am here today at Venture on Wilson. Why don't you come inside and see all that has changed? So here in the courtyard, you'll notice that landscaping is going in, curbing, agave has been planted, and river rocks have also been put in. We have lights strung through the courtyard, which at night creates the most incredible ambiance. Originally to the property, there was a pool. And the pool had some really tall fences that blocked off the whole property from each other. It felt very cut off, everyone from one another. And so we've opened that up, we filled in the pool, and going into the center portion is going to be a turf area, which will house a couple amenities, which is a much more practical use of this community space. We sandblasted the exterior block, which exposed the natural gray tone of the brick beneath. All wood paneling on the exterior surrounding the windows and entry doors has been replaced and painted, as well as all entry doors and windows were replaced to really make the property feel like a new build. So if you come inside, you'll notice that we have replaced all the flooring. In common areas, we used tile and we carpeted the bedrooms. All the walls and ceiling have been retextured and painted, which has really cleaned up each entire residence. If you'll look over here, we had a wall. Originally, it really blocked off the space and made it feel closed off, so we opened it up, which creates a much better flow into the kitchen. So here in the kitchen, you'll see that the cabinetry and countertops have been installed, a design which was voted on by our viewers via social media, and it has turned out really great. We love the white on white. It's super crisp and clean, especially in such a tight space. All that remains is the installation of appliances and cabinet hardware. Thank you for joining me here at Venture on Wilson. I'm Sake, and this has been another Neighborhood Ventures renovation update.
Come on, TK. Oh, come on. This is a really fun time in my life. I've got 3 daughters, 2 of them in high school. My middle daughter is playing lacrosse, in varsity lacrosse at Xavier, and I haven't missed a game yet. I'm not going to. I played high school soccer. I played golf. I was on the ski team. But watching my daughter out there play lacrosse and get excited about it and be very competitive and having such a great group of girls all on the same team, that's a big part of my life right now, and I really enjoy spending that time with her and watching her. Yeah! You know, one of the things that's really important to me is a good work-life balance. I do work a lot of hours. I do work really hard, but I do it because it allows me the freedom to spend time with my kids. And the reality is they don't know the hours I put in because they're not with me. They don't realize I'm out working and doing things. But why don't I do more? Why don't I can do all kinds of things. The answer is not if it impedes on my time with my kids.
Set off from the
Yes!
wall. I'm sure you could do that. You could ask.
Like where they're clamped.
Have you seen where they do like the peg?
Yes, that's what I mean.
And then they just have the hole and then they mount it and then they just screw the little things over
No,
it.
I don't think I know what you're
that's
talking about. No, it's not like that.
So we've spent a few hours on the property in Scottsdale on 66th Place with our entire team. We've had our subcontractors there doing due diligence. And we decided to move forward and make an offer on the property, and we were excited that we've received an accepted offer for $128,000 per unit. So now is time for us to go in and do some additional due diligence with our budget, figuring out our budget for renovation, and in this case, since we would be doing it as a B&B, the furnishings budget, to make sure the project will work the way that we think it can. So we think this could be a great opportunity for our investors to invest in an Airbnb project in a passive way, where we go in and do the work, but we all benefit from the growing Airbnb trend in our own state.
Next time on Inside Look. While the team begins breaking down the numbers for Venture on 66th, Rocky gets to work designing the perfect Scottsdale getaway for the new short-term vacation property.
Continue this journey with us. Click the subscribe button. And for notifications, ring the bell.